Danielle Savoni's here now. And Danielle, a lot of people heading to the mountain parks this weekend. Maybe some inclement weather on the way, including you.
Yeah, I'm camping this weekend. They're already out there. They're dealing with some rainfall right now. My family's going to go join in a little bit. Yeah, it's we're going to be dealing with something. If you are heading out to go camping, make sure you bring lots of warm stuff to wear because it's going to get frigid tomorrow. And yeah, depending on where you are, a good amount of wet snow is going to be falling. 12 degrees is the temperature right now. There are isolated showers in and around the city, as you can see by the radar right here. This is starting to weaken right now, but you can still expect isolated showers for the next few hours. And then the next system rolls in the overnight hours, and this one is going to pull in a much cooler air mass. So we're kicking off the day at 0 tomorrow in the city, only a high of 4, gusts around 40 kilometers per hour, and this comes with a rain and wet snow mix. Calgary specifically, at least a couple millimeters of rain and anywhere from 1 to 4 centimeters of snow possible. I'll have more details coming up, but that's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Family-owned, community-driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen.
It's going to be challenging weather out there for many people, isn't it, Danielle?
Yeah, this is a constant working on the forecast because I know so many people are out. And if you're not out camping, a lot of people want to garden this weekend, and then you have to take the plants inside because you've invested all this money in those plants and you don't want to have them just die right away. So there's a lot to know for this weekend, absolutely. This is just the beginning right now. So right now we have isolated showers in the city and in much of southern Alberta, in fact. And we're about to get a lot messier with this next system that's on the way. So 12 degrees is where we're sitting right now. We did get into the teens earlier today. So not quite the 20s we had earlier this week, but this is quite a lot warmer than the 4-degree high we're expecting for tomorrow. So temperatures are just beginning to plummet. 13 right now in Brooks, 17 in Medicine Hat, 12 in Pincher Creek. A bit of a gusty day at times for sure. 50 was the max in Calgary and around that for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat and Brooks too. It should be calmer in Calgary for tomorrow with regards to the winds, just the winds. Far south still looking at 40 to 50 kilometer per hour gusts for tomorrow. All right, so we have a weather statement in place in this lighter green color here, and in the white, this is the snowfall warning. So high elevations could see up to 30 centimeters of snow by the time this system is all said and done. Why this statement ends right along here is this is mainly the edge of that wet snow line. So after this is more of a rainfall event for areas off to the east, but right along the highway is where we're going to see that rain-snow mix because we'll be hovering around that freezing mark. It will also be more consistent off to the west in the mountains too. So right now, yeah, isolated showers. That's the potential for the next few hours. And then after that, in the overnight hours, this next system rolls in. And that's going to be a big weather maker for us. This next system, a much bigger system, and it will do a lot more, I guess you could say, damage, because we got the winds with the last system. This next one, certainly the cold and some wet snow. All right, let me advance this so I can give you the timeline here. Again, more consistent snowfall because temperatures will be colder off to the west and higher elevations. We're looking at that tonight through much of tomorrow as well. There you go. There's that rain-snow line right on the edge there. And this is why right up Highway 2, QE2 to Innisfail, it's going to be a rain and wet snow mix. So a little harder to forecast because how much of snow falls, how much rain falls. We'll talk about amounts in just a second here, but we are looking at heavy, dense, wet snow off to the west. Now for Canmore, for Banff town site, anywhere from 5 to 7 centimeters certainly possible, but those higher elevations could see much, much more. And then this starts to clear out on Sunday, but there will still be isolated showers possible, especially later in the day on Sunday. And you may even still get a wet snow mix early Sunday morning in and around the city. Okay, and then Monday, it's nice. That's when things really shape up. Quick look at how much rain is possible. 4 millimeters in Calgary, 3 in Medicine Hat, 7 in Lethbridge. And then when we look at that snowfall, these models are a little off, but we are looking at anywhere from 1 to 4 centimeters, Okotoks up to Calgary, and then about 5 to 7 in Canmore, Banff town site. Higher elevations, though, that's where we're looking at that 20 to 30 centimeters of snow. Here's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Just a high of 4 for tomorrow. For Calgary specifically, 2 to 4 millimeters of rain, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow, lasting into really early Sunday morning, then clearing out, but still isolated showers possible later on Sunday, and a high of 10. And then a ridge of high pressure builds in. Temperatures will climb into the teens by Monday.
So, Danielle, lots of layers and a snow brush if you're heading especially to camp this week.
Yeah, and if you're not camping, bring the plants inside. Plan a couple movies to watch on Saturday. So Saturday for Calgary and surrounding areas around Calgary, that's where we're looking at the worst of it. So tonight through tomorrow and tomorrow night, and then things start to let up on Sunday. 12 degrees current temperature. Today's high was 13. Say bye to that for tomorrow. Tomorrow just a high of 4. We're going to struggle just to get there. A couple millimeters of rain, 2 to 4 possible. And then because we're right on that line of development, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow also possible. 10 degrees though by Sunday, and late showers possible.
Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, here's the early edition of the CTV National News.
Okay, so probably lots of campers haven't left yet. Like yourself, you're camping this weekend too. So just how much fleece do people need to be taking?
Yeah, I've packed a whole mound of fleece and even the waterproof warm coats, because we're looking at a good bunch of moisture depending on where you are as well, and wet snow. Oh goodness. Okay, so we've already kicked things off over the last couple days with the wind, and then we've had isolated showers, non-severe thunderstorms in southern Alberta already, still happening right now. 13 degrees is the temperature. Checking out your next 24 hours, isolated showers for another 3 hours, and then kicking off the day at the freezing mark in Calgary. A rain-snow mix, yes, absolutely, especially for the morning through parts of the afternoon. It starts to clear out in the afternoon. So the worst of the weather in Calgary and surrounding areas of Calgary will be tonight through tomorrow morning, and then starting to let up late tomorrow afternoon. Now we have lots of snow on the way for some communities. We'll talk more about that coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Certainly will be windy enough to fly a kite out there.
Yep, windy enough, and let's be honest, we got to dress warm for Saturday especially. Saturday will be the coldest in the city, including Granary Road, and then it will start to shape up on Sunday, and then really shape up by Monday. So if you're camping and then you plan on clearing out, going back home on Monday, it's kind of unfortunate. Okay, 13 degrees is the temperature right now in Calgary, also our daytime high, which is cooler than the 20s that we had earlier this week. But of course, this is certainly a lot warmer than the high of 4 that's expected for tomorrow. So yes, a much chillier day. So this cool down is just getting going here. 15 is the temperature in Lethbridge, 16 in Brooks, 15 in Medicine Hat. A little on the windy side for sure, but a lot more reasonable than what we had over the last couple of days for sure. 63 was the max in Lethbridge, close to 50 in Medicine Hat, and around that for Calgary as well. For the far south, 40 to 50 kilometer per hour gusts possible for tomorrow. Calgary and in through Brooks and Drumheller should be a lot calmer with regards to the winds tomorrow. But everything else looks messy. Okay, so here's these isolated showers that have been moving through pretty much most of southern Alberta, and that's really because of the system off to the east that we really already dealt with, but it's creating that convective activity because of the wind being forced around that system, getting air rising, pushing air up, and then we get these isolated showers and thunderstorms. That's that, but tonight the next system rolls in, and that's going to bring in a much cooler air mass, which is why we have rain mixed with wet snow in many communities, Calgary included in this. What you can look at is the QE2 Highway 2 as that line of rain and wet snow. So the wet snow development is right along that line, and then off to the west, the snow is going to be more consistent, and it will be even a little colder, which is why we're expecting way more snow for the high elevations. This is tonight, this is through tomorrow. For Calgary specifically, in the morning hours, a rain and wet snow mix, and then that should shift out of Calgary by the afternoon hours and then shift down to the south. But you can see the snow and rain right along Highway 2. Consistent snowfall, though, for Canmore, for Banff, and for higher elevations. All right, so that's the worst of it. And then on Sunday, isolated showers possible, but it shouldn't be consistent and, again, very isolated. And then later in the day, decent chance of a pop-up shower. So when we talk about snowfall amounts, because we're on the line of development of that wet snow and we'll be hovering around that freezing mark, we're going to get some rain and some snow in Calgary and all along Highway 2 and QE2. So 3 to 5 centimeters of snow possible here. Further off to the west, Canmore, Banff town site, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, and higher elevations, 20 to 30 centimeters of snow. That's why there's statements and snowfall warnings in place. For all other communities, here's a look at the rainfall you can expect. So a couple millimeters in Medicine Hat, 6 millimeters in Lethbridge. Here's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast for Calgary. 4 degrees is our high tomorrow. Again, 2 to 4 millimeters of rain, 3 to 5 centimeters of that wet snow. And it should last until about 6 a.m. on Sunday. Then it starts to clear out. And then late day showers are possible on Sunday with a high of 10. A much better day on Monday, 14 and mainly sunny.
All right, well, I guess it's officially Drake season because the Canadian superstar rapper dropped not 1, not 2, 3 albums at midnight.
Got what I done. Y'all forgot about Drake. Y'all forgot where I'm from.
So in addition to Iceman, Drake dropped 2 other albums called Habibti and Maid of Honor. His epic album promotion lit up the city of Toronto last night and left the CN Tower frozen over. Drake fans were flocking to the waterfront for the fireworks. They took 5 days to put together and lasted about 10 minutes. The CN Tower was also lit up blue overnight, making it look like it was frozen.
That's busy.
Wow.
Huh?
That's a lot going on for Drake right there.
That's a big deal.
Whole city backing him up.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, many people will be traveling this long weekend, but it's kind of rare to encounter something like this.
For your Lufthansa Star Alliance, flight LH2222 to Toulouse, we start with priority boarding and ask our host.
Even the travelers thought that was funny. That's a lot of twos to get to Toulouse. Kind of a tongue twister video. It's gone viral, many commenting. They think it's funny every time they hear it, especially when it's their flight. So it's obviously always that flight number to get to Toulouse. Well, you've probably heard of dogs getting the zoomies, but did you know other animals get them too? That's a bad case of the camel zoomies. This is the Toronto Zoo's Bactrian camel calf. Growing up so fast, we showed you this calf a couple of weeks ago. It was born at the end of April. They're inviting people to come out over the long weekend to see his cute little face, and he seems very excited about all the new visitors that are coming to see him.
And the other camels in there just going, what are you doing?
Slow down,
Leave me
relax.
alone.
It's the weekend. Just relax.
Those little ones have lots of energy.
Yeah, let them run it out.
Here's your Skywatch weather camera. Look how cool this shot is. We have isolated showers. So today already we've had rain in the city and just outside the city. We've had some wet snow mixed in with that. And we've even had some grapple, which looks kind of like hail, but you can squish it because it's just little mini snowballs. 13 degrees is our current temperature. Also our daytime high, 17 is normal. 30.6 is the record for this day, so we're not normal and we're nowhere near record breaking, and we're going to plummet further for tomorrow for our temperature. Look at these isolated showers, and again some wet snow mixed in with this already wet snow certainly mixed into the higher elevations. All right, here's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or free. Isolated showers in the city possible for the next few hours, and then the next system rolls in overnight, and that's going to drop the temperatures. And because we're going to be hovering around that freezing mark, rain and mixed in with wet snow is in the forecast late tonight through tomorrow morning and starting to clear out tomorrow afternoon, only getting to a high of 4 for tomorrow. Now, because we're on that line and that edge and we're hovering around the freezing mark, Calgary and all down Highway 2, QE2, 3 to 5 centimeters of snow. Further off to the west, Banff town site, Canmore, 5 to 10 centimeters, and higher elevations, 20 to 30 centimeters. And again, a lot of that falling tonight and through tomorrow. All right, taking a little look around, 14 for Kelowna tomorrow with some showers. Edmonton, mostly cloudy, and 8. Now, Rocky Mountain House, down QE2 and Highway 2, that's where we're looking at that mixed precipitation and of course heavy snow further to the west. Lethbridge will see a little bit of that mix as well tomorrow. Medicine Hat should not, maybe a couple showers, and a high of 16 degrees there.
You could get some golf in this weekend if you just wait a couple of days.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the worst the whole long weekend, right?
Exactly. There will be some nice parts of this weekend. For example, Glenn, you're golfing this on Monday.
Monday.
Good
Yes.
plan.
Yeah.
Kara, you're bringing the plants in tonight, right?
Yes, I am.
Good plan. The worst weather will be overnight tonight through tomorrow morning in the city specifically. 2 to 4 millimeters of rain, 3 to 5 centimeters of snow. And it should let up Saturday afternoon, maybe even some sunny breaks Saturday afternoon. We could see a couple wet flakes on Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, some showers are possible, but it's a little more stable on Sunday. And then Monday's pretty nice, 14 degrees, mainly sunny skies. So that's the long weekend for us. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. Ian Matthews sent this in. He took a very long bike ride. I think he was out 4 times today, he says. And he ran into rain. You can see the snowflakes falling on the picture on the left, and on the right, that's some grapple in the grass.
He got it all on his bike rides. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific long weekend.